एक नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, अदानी जी हैं, अमित शाह जी हैं। सेफ है तो कौन सेफ है? अदानी जी सेफ हैं। कष्ट किसको होगा? धारावी की जनता को होगा।
तिजोरी में सेंध मारने वालों ने सेफ का अर्थ तिजोरी समझा। इसमें गलती किसी की नहीं है, यही एक गलती उस खानदान की है।
Well, the brazen hypocrisies of the Congress party going into the Maharashtra election on the issue of big business, Adani, the big flashpoints, the polarizing moments of an election that is now wound down to a close are my big focus here on 5 Live. Thanks as always for being with me. These are the headlines. It's the final day of campaigning in Maharashtra. Fight over Bala Saheb Thackeray's legacy escalates. Eknath Shinde tells India Today, Bala Saheb Thackeray is no family property, no family's property.
लेकिन विचारधारा हमने ली उनकी, उन्होंने विचारधारा को त्याग दिया, कांग्रेस के साथ गए। वो तो असली गुनहगार है, लेकिन निजी स्वार्थ के लिए उन्होंने मुख्यमंत्री बनने के लिए बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के विचार को छोड़ दिया।
National Capital Region chokes in emergency level toxic air. These are real pictures on your screen, unedited. Supreme Court pulls up the Delhi government. Tighter pollution measures implemented as air quality reaches hazardous levels. Big setback to the Aam Admi Party. Former Kejriwal minister Kailash Gehlot joins BJP a day after resigning. Miffed Kejriwal downplays the exit, says let him go wherever he wants. Manipur on the boil once again. Fresh violence erupts over the murder of 6 women and children. Home Minister Amit Shah holds high-level security meet, directs police to maintain peace. Singer Diljit Dosanjh takes a jibe at the Telangana government, says it's Bollywood that promotes alcohol, calls for pan-India movement to ban liquor.
बॉलीवुड के जो कलाकार हैं वो शराब की एडवर्टाइजमेंट करते हैं, दिलजीत दोसांझ एडवर्टाइजमेंट नहीं करता। पूरी स्टेट जो है, जितनी भी स्टेट्स हैं हमारे यहाँ, अगर वो सारी अपने आप को ड्राई स्टेट घोषित कर देती हैं, अगले ही दिन दिलजीत दोसांझ अपनी लाइफ में कभी शराब पे गाना नहीं गाएगा।
Presented by Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat.
Co-presented by आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय, जॉय ई-बाइक,
Mahindra Electric Origin SUVs.
This election season going into Maharashtra has been one of high-octane slogans. Batenge to katenge by Yogi Adityanath, Ek hai to safe hai by Prime Minister Modi. Well, today, Rahul Gandhi, on a day when the campaign has finally wound down, chose to make his big counter-attack on the BJP and Prime Minister Modi personally. Mocking the Ek hai to safe hai war cry of the BJP, Rahul Gandhi said, Modi's Ek hai safe hai slogan is only for industrialist billionaire Gautam Adani. The BJP hit back with Chota Popat jibe, reminding him of his brother-in-law's close ties with Adani, not to mention many state governments under the Congress party and the India bloc. Watch this.
इस इलेक्शन का नारा मोदी जी ने दिया है और बिल्कुल सही नारा है। एक है तो सेफ है। सवाल है सेफ कौन है, सेफ किसका है, एक कौन है, ये सवाल है।
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi mocks Prime Minister Modi's Ek hai to safe hai war cry with jibe at Adani's Dharavi slum project. Rahul Gandhi took a sharp dig at Modi, accusing him of prioritizing Gautam Adani over the people of Maharashtra. Rahul fired salvos saying that as long as Modi is there, Adani is safe.
एक है तो सेफ है, एक कौन है? एक नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, अदानी जी हैं, अमित शाह जी हैं। सेफ है तो कौन सेफ है? अदानी जी सेफ हैं।
Rahul was sitting out at Modi's "Ek hai to safe hai" war cry in poll-bound Maharashtra.
कांग्रेस SC, ST, OBC समाज की एक जाति को दूसरे के खिलाफ खड़ा कर रही है। अलग अलग जातियों में टूटने से आप सोचिए कमजोर हो जाएंगे कि नहीं हो जाएंगे। एक है तो हमें एकजुट रहकर कांग्रेस के खतरनाक खेल को नाकाम करना है।
The BJP recollected Bala Saheb Thackeray's Chota Popat jibe at Rahul Gandhi, adding that Rahul is seeing treasury everywhere since the Gandhi family is knee-deep in scams.
हिंदुस्तान को लूटने का काम किया है, चाहे नेशनल हेराल्ड का केस हो। तिजोरी के अंदर गांधी परिवार द्वारा लूटा हुआ पैसा बंद और मां बेटे एक्यूज्ड नंबर 1 और एक्यूज्ड नंबर 2 आज बेल पर बाहर है। उन्होंने पोस्टर दिखाया है तो हम भी पीछे नहीं रहेंगे। ये असली पोस्टर तो ये है। क्या है तिजोरी के अंदर?
मोदी जी ने कहा एक है तो सेफ है। अरे मोदी जी का एक है सेफ है का मतलब है एकता है तो हम सब सुरक्षित हैं, सबको साथ लेकर के चल रहे हैं। लेकिन तुम जब बोलते हो एक है तो सेफ है, तो तुम्हारे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में अगाड़ी के साथी भी नहीं होते, तुम एक ही होते हो, और एक होते हो तो ही सेफ होते हो। इस बात को समझ लेना चाहिए।
The BJP also highlighted that it was Uddhav government who gave Dharavi project to Adani and not the Maha Yuti. BJP reminded Rahul Gandhi about his brother-in-law Robert Vadra's past visit to Adani facilities. BJP also seized on a video by Telangana Chief Minister Revant Reddy admitting that his government took 100 crore rupees welfare funds donation from Adani.
हर जगह में मोदी जी अदानी को पैसे देते जा रहे हैं, मैं अदानी जी से पैसे ले रहा हूं, इतना फर्क है।
One of India's richest billionaires, Gautam Adani is once again a mega poll flashpoint. Bureau Report, India Today.
And the "Ek hai to safe hai" war cry and face-off in Maharashtra has escalated after the BJP, now the BRS in Telangana, is taunting Rahul Gandhi. Remember, the BRS was demolished by the Congress party in the Telangana election of last year. The BRS has hurled a hypocrisy taunt at Rahul Gandhi. The BRS has raked up the Revant Reddy Gautam Adani meet, the photograph which had gone viral when it happened because it completely debunked the entire campaign against Adani that Rahul Gandhi was running. The BRS says Congress Chief Minister welcomes Adani with open arms. So the BRS, which is in the opposition in Telangana, taking a big pot shot at Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party over the Adani issue. Mostly saying live with us on the "Ek hai safe hai" counter-attack by Rahul Gandhi, once again invoking the figure of Gautam Adani to make a big political point against Prime Minister Modi. It's come, Mosmi, on the last day of campaigning, only a couple of days to go for polling. You know, many people will be wondering, why didn't this come a little earlier?
That's right, Shiv, with the BJP, upping its ante and talking about batenge to katenge and countering the caste census demand of the Congress party and specifically Rahul Gandhi. One would have wondered that such an attack could have come earlier on in the run-up to the campaign in Maharashtra or Jharkhand. But importantly, Rahul Gandhi there doubling up with 2 press conferences and in fact starting with the Mumbai presser, getting that locker in there, trying to hammer in this point to the voters of Maharashtra that the BJP, the Mahayuti is keeping the interests of businessmen, especially businessmen from outside Maharashtra first, and keeping the welfare of the people on the back burner. And naturally, the BJP has come head on and hit back at the Congress party.
But Mosmi, you know, it doesn't appear that Team Rahul is very shaken by, you know, the counter attack where the BRS is putting out these pictures of Revanth Reddy, Congress Chief Minister in Telangana, with Gautam Adani, the many other linkages between Congress Chief Ministers, and the Adani Group. Does that not cause any kind of embarrassment or conflict as far as Rahul Gandhi's campaign on this issue is concerned?
You know, Shiv, you remember right from the start, during the Lok Sabha elections, this campaign has stuck with Rahul Gandhi, and the opposition or BJP's counters notwithstanding, Rahul Gandhi is very clear that somewhere the Congress feels that the BJP and the Prime Minister specifically, if we have to attack him or target him, it is about his Kamdar versus Namdar jibe that we have to attack, about his dynastic politics and corruption of the Congress that we need to debunk. And this is the strongest plank that Rahul Gandhi thinks that he can counter. He thinks that Lok Sabha, this thought and this attack stayed, and they can build on it. And that's one reason that they're not flustered by the BJP's counter attack.
All right, thanks very much, Mosami. Well, campaigning winds down to a close today. Polling is on Wednesday, results are on Saturday. So in many ways, the narrative, the rhetoric will have to sort of quieten down now. The campaigning phase is over. Mosmi, thank you very much for that. India Today's Akshita Nandagopal spoke to BRS Working President K.T. Ramarao, former Telangana minister, who's now leading the charge against the Congress party on the politics over Adani, accusing it of dual ideology over the billionaire. Listen into this snippet.
You know, we've seen, of course, a lot of talk about Adani and the Congress's criticism, and yet joining hands with them in Telangana. Revanth Reddy says, what's wrong? He said that, you know, if Modi is helping Adani, it's good. They're coming to Telangana.
I think you should ask this question of Rahul Gandhi, who keeps talking every single day about Adani and corruption. What does Rahul say? Rahul says Adani is fraud. Revanth says Adani is a friend. Rahul says Gujarat model is bekar. Revanth says Gujarat model is behtareen. Rahul says, चौकीदार चोर हैं. रेवंत कहते हैं कि चौकीदार बड़े भाई हैं. तो उन दोनों को पहले बैठ के अपना एक रवैया चूज करना चाहिए, क्योंकि अदानी फ्रॉड है या फ्रेंड है पहले कांग्रेस पार्टी तय कर ले. क्योंकि अगर अदानी फ्रॉड है तो आपके चीफ मिनिस्टर क्यों उनके गले मिल रहे हैं, उनके साथ MOU कर रहे हैं, उनका चेक ले रहे हैं, उनका पैसा ले रहे हैं. अगर अदानी फ्रेंड है तो राहुल को बोलना बंद करना चाहिए कि ये करप्शन है, ये है, वो है, फलाना है, ठिकाना है, क्रोनी कैपिटलिज्म है. पहले कांग्रेस को तय करना चाहिए. आपके 3 राज्य सरकार है पूरे हिंदुस्तान में. अगर आप 3 राज्य सरकारों में सहमति नहीं ला सकते हो कोई एक अहम इश्यू पे, अदानी जैसे इश्यू पे, तो पूरे हिंदुस्तान में आप कहां से यूनिटी लाओगे? भारत को कैसे जोड़ोगे?
And just as the campaigning winds down to a close, these are the last few minutes of the Maharashtra campaign. I want to quickly summarize for you the ek hai to safe hai and the response by the Congress party, the clarifications and the crossfire, where things stand. The Congress says Prime Minister refers to safety of himself, Shah and Adani. The BJP says the Prime Minister has called for unity to be collectively safe. The Congress says till Modi and Adani are together, they are both safe. The BJP says the Congress has been isolated by its allies for this bogus claim. The Aghadi says every corner of Mumbai has been sold off to Adani. You can see they're making this a big emotive issue. The BJP says the poll campaign drama is strictly by Rahul Gandhi. Voters and the electorate are not buying any of this tamasha. Now, this Adani taunt at the Congress party by the BJP in February 2021. Let me just take you through the timeline. In February 2021, Adani Ports acquired the Dighi port in Maharashtra for 705 crore rupees. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray of the Sena UBT at that time. It was then the undivided Shiv Sena. March 2022, Adani Enterprises becomes a key mine developer in Chhattisgarh. Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, again of the Congress party. October 2022, memoranda of understanding for 10,000 megawatt solar power project with the Rajasthan government, at that time Chief Minister from the Congress party, Ashok Gehlot. October 2021, Adani Group takes over Jaipur International Airport. Management, Chief Minister at that time of Rajasthan, Congress party's Ashok Gehlot. February 2023, reopening of Darlaghat and Barmana cement plants by Adani Group. Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu of the Congress party in Himachal Pradesh. That was January 2024. Adani Group announces 12,400 crore rupee investment in Telangana. Chief Minister, like you just saw, Revanth Reddy of the Congress party. October 2024, last month, Adani Foundation donates 100 crore rupees for the Telangana Skills University. Chief Minister, as you've guessed, is Revanth Reddy of the Congress party. So there are umpteen examples of the India bloc, or specifically Congress state governments, that are happy to do business with the Adani Group, while Rahul Gandhi and his team, even at the discomfiture of India bloc allies like Sharad Pawar, continues his tirade and campaign against the BJP on the issue of Adani. Whether it will find takers within the electorate in Maharashtra, we'll have to wait for the 23rd of this month to find out. Now shifting topics to another big flashpoint in the country. A big political war has broken out after Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised a new film that has hit the cinemas called The Sabarmati Report. It's a movie based on the Godhra train fire incident of 2002, where nearly 60 people, mostly car sevaks, lost their lives. The incident which eventually triggered the horrific Gujarat riots of 2002 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was Chief Minister of the state. Meanwhile, the Congress and Trinamool, among others, have slammed Modi for allegedly diverting minds from what's taking place in Manipur right now. Here's the full story.
मैं और मेरे देश का शून्य पर टूटा, मैं गिरा, सब बिखर गया.
The train met with an accident.
पूरा देश आप जो कहती है उसे 100% सच मानता है. झूठ बेच रहे हैं.
A political war has broken out over Vikrant Massey's starrer, The Sabarmati Report, based on the burning of a train in Godhra that left nearly 60 people dead, including many car sevaks.
सिर्फ ऊपर बढ़ता है.
The incident had famously triggered the Gujarat riots of 2002.
नहीं देखा. नहीं पता.
इतना भी लंबा दौर हो.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised the recently released film and posted on Twitter that the truth was finally coming out. He added that a fake narrative can persist only for a limited period of time and eventually the facts will always come out. Lead actor in the film, Vikrant Massey, and producer Ekta Kapoor thanked Prime Minister Modi for lauding the Sabarmati Report.
Horrific news of a tragic.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Monday lashed out at what he called a powerful ecosystem for keeping the truth hidden in darkness.
बदनाम करने की तमाम साजिशें हुई थी और लेकिन अंत में सच्चाई की जीत हुई और मोदी जी उसके बाद जितने भी बार जनता की अदालत में गए, जनता ने उनको अपना आशीर्वाद दिया है.
Ultimately, truth speaks, and we are grateful to the movie makers that they have come out with the truth, and we are hopeful that people will understand the real truth of the Godhra.
गोदरा का सच खा के बैठ गए.
India bloc parties, the Congress and the Trinamool, lashed out at Prime Minister Modi for diverting attention from Manipur, where violent mobs targeted the homes of ministers and MLAs after the murder of 6 people, including women and children.
It's so unfortunate, and we have to feel very sad that we are having a Prime Minister who is not ready to care about Manipur. We are not able to care having a Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, who is not ready to care about Manipur, which is burning.
The Sabarmati Report released on November the 15th and had a dull opening, but it saw growth of over 68% on Saturday and Sunday, which took the collection to more than 6 crore rupees in India. After Prime Minister Modi's tweet, the movie could now perform better at the box office.
फिर पता चला कि शून्य से इंसान.
Journalism is not just about facts. There are protocols and processes.
बंद कर अपनी अंग्रेजी और अपना ज्ञान.
After PM Modi's post on the movie Sabarmati Report, Congress leaders saw this as PM Modi's attempt to prove his narrative correct. While on the other hand, BJP leaders saying this movie reminded the torture faced by then Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi, and now BJP asking everyone to watch this movie once. With camera person Prateek from Bhopal, this is Ravish Pal Singh for India Today.
Meanwhile, it's that time of year once again when people of India's capital region are once again suffering like never before. The air quality in and around Delhi has once again plummeted, and the government has announced a suspension of physical classes for all students except those in class 10 and 12. Starting today, the Graded Response Action Plan, or GRAP Level 4, will be imposed in Delhi. There will be a complete ban on the entry of trucks and a halt on construction for all public projects. Non-essential light commercial vehicles from outside Delhi are also barred. If the situation worsens, the odd-even rule may also be applied. The sweet, familiar stench of burning crops, vehicular fumes, and governmental incompetence. It must be winter in Delhi NCR. Yes, folks, it's that magical time of year again when we celebrate the cherished tradition of squinting through a haze that would make Londoners in the Victorian era feel nostalgic. The air quality index is sky high. The visibility is non-existent. These are real pictures from today. And once again, our lungs are performing feats of endurance that would impress Olympic athletes. It isn't just heartwarming to see how nothing changes year after year, and here we are once again ranting and outraging about it. And why would anything change? After all, there's no shortage of fun to be had when we can play our favorite winter sport, blame tag, which is precisely what's happening right now in India's public space. Watch with bated breath, or as much breath as you can manage without coughing up a lung, as Delhi's Chief Minister, the central government, the Punjab authorities, the Supreme Court and the media engage in an exhilarating game of passing the buck. Round one, the great blame-off. Let's see who's up first. The Delhi government, champions of the if only the centre cared defence. No one points fingers with quite the same fervour as the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. But hold on. The central government swiftly counters, blaming local mismanagement and half-hearted execution of pollution control measures. Are they saying that they've got no power to actually enforce this? Don't look at us, they say. We have bigger things to ignore. Punjab, not to be outdone, reminds everyone that it's really the farmers who are to blame, because why wouldn't they set fire to their fields when it's literally the only thing keeping their soil fertile and pockets empty? Besides, it's not like they've been asking for financial help to stop stubble burning for years now, right? And of course, the Supreme Court steps in with stern warnings and grand orders that everyone knows will be ignored faster than you can say PM 2.5. Because nothing says problem solved like a stern judicial finger wagging, right? Now let's go to round two, the media frenzy. Oh, and who could forget the media, including people like me? Never wants to miss an opportunity to turn a crisis into a circus. They're here to breathlessly, ironic considering the smog, report on pollution levels. And I'm turning the mirror inwards here without any sense of irony. Complete with sensational headlines like Delhi turns into a gas chamber, which, let's be honest, is basically the same headline that all of us in the media used last year. So nothing's changed. And the year before that. And the year before that. Anchors like me will yell, the debates rage on, we'll bring in the experts. Social media will erupt with hashtags like right to breathe and end pollution now, because nothing screams effective change like a good old Twitter hashtag. Round three, the ultimate solution. And just when you think things couldn't get any better comes the piece de resistance. The emergency pollution control measures, GRAP 4 and other fancy sounding things. Because what's more proactive than doing absolutely nothing all year and then frantically shutting down construction sites, diverting traffic, telling kids to stay at home and telling people to just stay indoors once the air becomes visibly a dirty, jaundiced yellow. Brilliant strategy. It's like waiting for your house to catch fire before buying a fire extinguisher. To add to the hilarity, every year we hear promises of electric buses, smog towers, green corridors, the kind of promises that vanish faster than Delhi's visibility during Diwali. Meanwhile, the citizens are left wearing masks, not the COVID kind, but hey, double protection, and trying to convince their lungs that this annual torture is just a trendy urban wellness cleanse. But hey, baby, it's us, the citizens, who are at fault here. After all, isn't it just plain greedy to want air that doesn't make our eyes water and our throats burn? We should be grateful, really. In an era where attention spans are shorter than ever, the annual pollution crisis at least ensures one thing: a reliable spectacle of chaos, finger-pointing and promises as hollow as the lungs of those unfortunate enough to live in this smog-infested paradise. So let's raise a glass of purified water, of course. I wouldn't trust anything else in Delhi. And toast to another year of Delhi NCR's annual pollution festival. Same time next year. And coming up after this very short break, India's big hypersonic splash. We're going to tell you why over the weekend India quietly tested perhaps its most important weapon system in more than a decade. Full details next.
जमाने से हटकर बेबाक है मेरा सिग्नेचर finest cardamom seeds, a premium product from Dilbar Group.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
ऐसे तेरी खुद मर्जी ना धूप जिने ना छाओ कैसे तेरी खुद मर्जी
मिलिए रेखा भारद्वाज। साहित्य आज तक दिल्ली में लाइव 22, 23 और 24 नवंबर मेजर ध्यानचंद नेशनल स्टेडियम, इंडिया गेट, नई दिल्ली। आज ही अपनी टिकट बुक करें aajtak.in/sahitya पर।
Hey Google, how do I do a wing liner? AI Ray. Flip the script with the new Motorola Razr 50 series.
Hello Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Rahul Gandhi counters BJP's "Ek hai to safe hai" war crime. Brings out a safe to claim only Adani is safe under BJP. Supreme Court backs for strict anti-pollution measures, warns Delhi government on pollution rise, politics over pollution rages. Tension after violence in Manipur, houses of many MLAs vandalized in Imphal. High-level meeting of Home Minister Amit Shah.
नमस्कार, मैं AI एंकर सना लेकर आई हूं आपके लिए आज के AQI अपडेट्स, प्रेजेंटेड बाय विडा, पावर्ड बाय हीरो मोटोकॉर्प। देश की राजधानी दिल्ली में आज का AQI 496 है, मुंबई में AQI 115, कोलकाता में 185, बेंगलुरु में 120 है, चेन्नई में AQI 78, हैदराबाद में 142, लखनऊ में 230, पटना में 320 और गांधीनगर में 97 है। बाय विडा नाउ फॉर अ ग्रीनर टुमारो।
Sorry.
फटाफट
फटाफट फटाफट एक खटाखट खटाखट
India's big hypersonic splash. In the dead of night from the East Coast, long-range hypersonic missile tested. India enters super elite missile club. Indian defense goes hypersonic. Well, folks, I don't know how your weekend went, but India spent Saturday night crashing into a very elite global club. Under cover of darkness, Indian defense scientists successfully test-fired a long-range Indian missile. You're probably wondering, what's the big deal? After all, testing missiles isn't such a big deal for India. We test missiles all the time. Well, that's true, but there was something very special about Saturday night's missile. It was a long-range hypersonic missile, which means it travels at speeds many multiples the speed of sound and blindingly faster than any missile currently active with the Indian Defence Forces. This is a video of Saturday night's test. The missile is so special, it doesn't even have a formal name yet. All we got to see is this tantalizing 18-second clip showing the missile blasting off from a launch site on the APJ Abdul Kalam Island, part of India's missile testing site off the Odisha coast. The successful test of this advanced missile signals India's entry into an elite club that includes the United States, Russia, and China, nations at the forefront of hypersonic weapons development. But beyond the technical achievement, this success, viewer, carries profound strategic implications that could reshape the future of warfare and balance of power in the Indo-Pacific region. The term hypersonic, in case you're wondering, refers to speeds exceeding Mach 5 or 5 times the speed of sound. That's approximately 6,174 kilometers per hour. Hypersonic missiles are capable of traveling at such high velocities that they become extremely difficult to detect, intercept, and defend against. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles, which follow a predictable arc, hypersonic missiles can maneuver mid-flight like aircraft, making them more agile and much more unpredictable. This combination of speed, agility, and accuracy gives hypersonic missiles of the kind that was tested by India on Saturday the potential to penetrate even the most sophisticated air defense systems, certainly those deployed by India's most notable adversaries in the region. While the weekend test is a huge milestone, it must be said that India has a great deal of catching up to do. This is a mesmerizing video and it has to be celebrated. In the field of hypersonic weapons, however, even the United States, which is usually far ahead of all others when it comes to cutting-edge military systems, acknowledges that China is in the numero uno position. Now, these countries I just named have invested heavily in hypersonic technology as part of a new arms race to maintain military superiority. India's entry into this group not only demonstrates our technological prowess, but also signals intent to be a major player potentially in the changing dynamics of modern warfare. While India's test was publicly announced and even acknowledged by the country's leadership, including the Prime Minister, several questions remain. For instance, was this a long-range anti-ship missile that's capable of hypersonic speeds rather than a proper hypersonic weapon platform of the kind India has tested before? Clarity on some of these more technical aspects will present themselves in the weeks ahead. But there is no taking away from the seriousness and importance of India's test. The development of missiles capable of hypersonic speeds is enormous for India's defense strategy. Tensions with neighboring countries, particularly China, have made it imperative for India to bolster its offensive strike capabilities. The hypersonic missile test comes at a time when India faces increasing pressure from China's growing military presence along their shared border, the line of actual control, and in the Indian Ocean. Hypersonic weapons enhance India's deterrent capabilities by providing a credible response to potential threats. Unlike conventional ballistic and cruise missiles, which can be intercepted by existing missile defense systems, hypersonic missiles of this kind could potentially evade detection and neutralize strategic targets, including and especially ships or aircraft carriers with little or no warning. This could shift the balance of power in the region, giving India potentially an edge in a very high-stakes military confrontation should it ever happen, especially against an adversary that's placing a huge premium on such weapons and their ability to put large naval forces on the back foot. Additionally, hypersonic weapons are a critical component of India's broader strategy to modernize its defense forces. As global conflicts increasingly shift to the high-tech domain, hypersonic capabilities offer India a crucial advantage in maintaining the security of its borders, projecting power in contested areas, and protecting our interests in the Indo-Pacific. Hypersonic weapons can be launched from various platforms, including land-based launchers like you saw in the test, ships, and even aircraft. This flexibility allows for rapid deployment in response to emerging threats, giving military planners a versatile weapon in their arsenal. Very importantly, by developing hypersonic weapons, India bolsters its second strike capability, which is vital to maintain a credible deterrence against nuclear-armed adversaries. Hypersonic missiles could be used to target adversaries' missile silos or command and control infrastructure, thus ensuring a retaliatory strike even if first strike capabilities are compromised. However, the proliferation of hypersonic technology also poses risks. The speed and unpredictability of these weapons reduce decision-making times for governments and militaries, increasing the risk of miscalculation during crises. As more countries develop hypersonic capabilities, there is a growing need for international norms and agreements to prevent the escalation of tensions and ensure strategic stability. In the coming years, India is expected to further refine its hypersonic capabilities, bolstered by this amazing test over the weekend, integrating them into its broader defense strategy. As an emerging leader in the global hypersonic arms race, India is well positioned to influence the development of international norms surrounding the use of these weapons, potentially playing a key role in ensuring their responsible deployment in an increasingly complex world. Now, I want to quickly just summarize for you what hypersonic missiles are, and then we'll bring the experts in to give us their view. They are missiles or weapons which can cruise at speeds of well over 5 times the speed of sound. This particular speed and agility makes them very difficult to detect or intercept. There are many different kinds of hypersonic weapons. There are hypersonic glide vehicles, and there are those that are launched by rockets, after which they glide towards a target. There's something called a hypersonic cruise missile, which is powered by a scramjet engine. They fly at lower altitudes than glide vehicles. Now, the strategic edge that a country like India gets from a weapon like this, compressed response time, takes just minutes from launch till impact because of that enormous amount of speed, unpredictable trajectory, unlike traditional ballistic missiles, like I said, difficult to track. They're too high for air defense, too low for early warning satellites. High precision, can hit their critical targets. Now, we've got some graphics showing you the different kinds of hypersonic weapons that are currently active and currently operational with different countries, with the United States and China acknowledged as being far ahead of anybody else. Now, joining me live now is Brahma Chelani. He's one of India's most well-regarded strategic affairs experts. Lieutenant General Raj Shukla is a former army commander and commentator on strategic military affairs. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining me. Brahmachalani, quickly coming to you first. How do you see the importance of this particular test? We do know that India has been testing hypersonic technology, since at least 2019 in different ways. But this particular test, how do you see it, sir?
It's a very important feat. We have to look at it more broadly in terms of what India is doing. In today's world, long-range missiles are the idiom of international power. And India's neighborhood, we are seeing a frenzied buildup of missile capabilities. China has more than doubled its nuclear weapons arsenal since 2020. Just in 4 years, it has doubled its nuclear weapons arsenal. So given that background, India has, in recent years, been focused on strengthening and expanding its missile capabilities. And the latest supersonic missile test is just the latest in a series of tests of leading-edge missile systems. For example, in March, as you would recall, India successfully flight tested a MIRVed Agni 5. MIRVed, by MIRVed, I mean an Agni 5 that can carry multiple warheads.
Yes.
And that was a very important feat because it bolsters India's second strike capability against India. And then now we have this supersonic missile test, a long-range missile. And as you point out, this is extremely difficult to detect and counter. And we are seeing that in Ukraine when Russia is firing its hypersonic missiles at Ukrainian targets that compared to the drones that Russia is firing or the short-range ballistic missiles it's firing, Ukraine is finding it very difficult with the sophisticated Western anti-missile systems to knock down these Russian supersonic missiles. So for India, this flight test, which was quite successful according to the government, is a very important accomplishment that opens a path to creating a range of supersonic missiles for different missions, including missions against ships, against aircraft, against land-based targets.
General Shukla, how do you see the importance of Saturday night's test of this hypersonic weapon, compared to what India currently has in its arsenal? Could you give us a sense of, what kind of a game-changer weapons of this kind actually pose as?
Thank you, Shiv, for getting me on your show.
Thank you.
In addition to the points that you made and Mr. Chelani made, I would like to make 3 to 4 points. One is, I think it's extremely significant. Many congratulations, but we have a long way to go in terms of operationalization. And while, capacity demonstration is a good thing of the DRDO, our operationalization has always been suboptimal. So now the whole challenge is to operationalize it fast. And here you see, I think we have really entered the drone missile moment in warfare. You look at Ukraine. I mean, look at how drones and missiles have altered the sea domain. You have crew drones with Starlinks almost, pushing out the iconic Black Sea Fleet from Sevastopol. We've seen what drones have done on land, from trenches to tanks to strategic air power. So we really need to take this whole gamut, as you yourself said, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, drones, and put this together into an integrated drone missile force. That will really, I think we've been punching below our weight in the strategic realm, focusing too much on the LAC and all that stuff, which is important. But in terms of strategic deterrence, we have a long way to go. You look at, I think Mr. Chelani referred to the rocket force of the Chinese.
Yes.
It is the most sophisticated instrument of long-range, cutting-edge precision. And look at its ambition. It not only has a rocket force, the strategic support force is doing all the AI enablement for the rockets and missiles to be fired, is also for the AD topology. Because as you said, missiles fired at Mach 7, 8 cannot be intercepted at the rate of human judgment. They have to be intercepted at the rate of AI, so on and so forth. So therefore, it is extremely significant, but we have to operationalize this deterrent. May I also point out to you that along with this, we need to look at our AD topology. Look at the way missiles and drones are being, shot across the skies in Europe and West Asia, and you just see during this exchange of Iran and Israel, see what the Israelis have.
Very true.
They have not only the Iron Dome, the David Sling, Arrow 2, Arrow 3, these sensors of the US Missile Defense Agency, which are globally deployed, along with the Aegis destroyers and all. So against this rocket force that the Chinese boast of, we seriously need to upgrade both our AD topology and our drone missile force. So very good news, congratulations, but we are still a long way from operationalizing this veteran. And I think we should, this whole issue of AD topology, drone missile force must receive our topmost attention. If I can also point out one other lesson from Ukraine, it points to the great limitations of air-crewed platforms. They have not been able to penetrate the adversary AD defenses. So I think a drone missile force to complement our Su-30s and whatever aircraft that we have is now an essential quiver in our strategic deterrence. So well begun, but
important points. I want to talk a little bit about that operationalization aspect where General Shukla says we are often found wanting. Brahmacharani sir, could you throw some light on that? Is that an area of concern? I mean, this is an important test, but making the full use of this as a stepping stone to a larger sort of strategic goal, is that something you're optimistic about, sir?
That has always been a challenge for India. India has a record of demonstrating an advanced capability and not weaponizing it for long. India took almost 25 years to go nuclear after conducting its first nuclear test in 1974.
Yeah.
A quarter century went by. And look at India's anti-satellite test, known as ASAT test. It was conducted in 2020 after a delay of several years because the previous government, led by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, declined to permit such a test. So even when we test something, it takes years to operationalize it. In recent years, we have tested, for example, so many different systems. We have tested a hybrid missile torpedo system against submarines. Has that been operationalized? No. We tested in 2020 an anti-radiation missile. Has it now come into service? Not yet. So we need to operationalize systems very quickly after we test them.
Yeah.
We have done remarkable feats in testing new systems. We have even designed a new medium-range ballistic missile known as Agni Prime.
Yes.
Agni Prime, like Agni 5, is based on terrestrialization. Terrestrializing means that you store missiles inside a sealed, climate-controlled tube to protect them from the outside elements during transportation. In this configuration, the warhead can be permanently mated with the missile instead of having to be installed prior to launch, which would significantly reduce the amount of time needed to launch nuclear weapons in a crisis. So this is very good, but we need to operationalize these systems. It's very important given the fact that China's missile power has really expanded and really grown. And today, what we face on the northern front is a huge Chinese missile capability. And I think we don't need to match, system to system. Every missile that China has, we don't need to match that because our posture is a defensive posture.
Yes.
We are not seeking to free Tibet from Chinese control, nor are we trying to reclaim the territories that China has grabbed from India over the last 70 years. Ours is a very defensive posture, and in defense, you don't need to match your adversaries' capabilities or systems.
Correct.
But we need to operationalize these systems, especially the missiles, so that we can actually hit back with great force, so as to deter an attack by China in the first place.
General Shukla, do you see the operationalization of a weapon and a capability of this kind being a problem? I mean, you have the context, the literal context of what's happening between India and China right now. You've got shifting geopolitics vis-a-vis the United States as well. The Indo-Pacific is something that you look at very closely, General Shukla. Do you think that all of that will perhaps catalyze a faster sort of operationalization and a kind of strategic, use of such weapons, rather than it just being a one-off test like we saw over the weekend?
So I'm actually, my view is that we are a little coy about talking of these issues of strategic deterrence and then even following through on them. The fact is that what do you do with the kind of challenge that you have? Look at, while I agree with Mr. Chelani that we can't match them, brick for brick, but the issue is, look at the challenge. Z says, that the firepower contest must be won before we cross the seas. The rocket force is an article of faith with them. They have taken 3 to 4 decades to operationalize it. From the time in the 1950s, Mao was waiting with his troops to cross, and he couldn't because of the American 7th Fleet. They have structured this A280 over 3 to 4 decades.
Yeah.
So today they have 4 operationally deployed hypersonic brigades, if my information is right. Look at how the Americans are struggling. I've told they've spent about $12 billion in various forms of testing, and they haven't yet been able to successfully operationalize the hypersonic. So it is a challenge in that sense. So the sooner we get into this business, the sooner the operationalization will come. My problem is that we are a little late in thinking about these kind of issues, and the scale of ambition only grows.
Yeah.
The Chinese are now looking to connect sensors and shooters across 7 domains: land, air, sea, space, cyber. Now, I'm not saying that we start doing all of that, but either we play catch up through smarter ways of asymmetric deterrence, as Mr. Chelani is saying, or we find some other ways. And I was very glad, when I heard your initial, the stuff that you spoke about this. We need to look at conventional and nuclear deterrence in their convergence.
Yeah.
Look at what the WTC does. They have ballistic, cruise, drones, nuclear, conventional missiles, all weave together in their tapestry.
Correct.
It is for the adversary to wonder, what is it? In our case, we have been talking of transparency and all. I'm also an advocate of ambiguity in our missile and nuclear deterrence. So there is a whole lot of stuff to be thought through and done. This is a very good step. Congratulations. But we really have a long way to go. And look at you surely would recall that system of that business about FOBS, fractional orbital bombardment system. Yeah. That was also a hypersonic glide vehicle, whose aim was to minimize detection times.
Correct.
So in that whole business of radar pickup and all, so it's an extremely sophisticated domain. We really need to invest in both ideation and action far more vigorously than we are doing.
General Raj Shukla and Brahma Chelani, while we acknowledge this particular test, you've given us a great deal to think about, which is why I invited you both onto this show. And we will continue to look at these tests, report on these tests with the seriousness that it deserves. We applaud our missile scientists in the laboratories doing this fantastic work. But like both our experts today have said, there are concerns and there are bigger future-looking challenges that India needs to be very, very wary of to get the best from such tests and such technology. Thank you very much to both of our guests on this special episode of Battle Cry. It's a wrap here. Thanks so much for watching. 6 p.m. Prime with Akshita comes up next.
जमाने से हटकर है बेबाक है मेरा सिग्नेचर फाइनेस्ट कार्डमम सीड्स अ प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट फ्रॉम दिलबाग ग्रुप।
नमस्कार, मैं एआई एंकर सना लेकर आई हूं आपके लिए आज के AQI अपडेट्स प्रेजेंटेड बाय विडा, पावर्ड बाय हीरो मोटोकॉर्प। देश की राजधानी दिल्ली में आज का AQI 496 है, मुंबई में AQI 115, कोलकाता में 185, बेंगलुरु में 120 है, चेन्नई में AQI 78, हैदराबाद में 142, लखनऊ में 230, पटना में 320 और गांधीनगर में 97 है। बाय विडा नाउ फॉर अ ग्रीनर टुमारो।